Steve Sanson, President of Veterans in Politics International and Nevada Veterans Association. And you know, I'm over here at the Clark County Family Courthouse, 601 South Pecos, and we went into 3 judges' courtrooms. First judge we went into was Mary Perry. When we approached the courtroom, it was a sealed case. So we left the courtroom and we were immediately called back, and we went into Judge Perry's courtroom. There was no one in the courtroom. It was just the court observers and the judge, along with Stephanie Phillips. And we went in there and we had a little one-on-one with Judge Mary Perry. And we were, you know, trying to get to know her so you could get to know her. And, well, I don't know if you folks know about Judge Mary Perry, but she has a few judicial complaints filed against her. One for calling a litigant psycho. Another one for yelling at the litigants. But, you know, Mary Perry has a loud voice, so it might even come across that she's yelling. But one for yelling, and she told one litigant that she was going to take their kids home. I thought that was funny. But anyways, apparently it's not funny. But judges need to, you know, really be above the fray and pay attention to what they say and how they come across. Because litigants might take these things differently than how they probably perceive them to be. Well, Judge Perry was very friendly in the courtroom. While we were there, she answered questions, and she was very cooperative, and you know, she was very respectful. I got to say that. But I just hope that she takes that respectability and apply to the litigants in her courtroom that come before her. The next courtroom we went to was Charles Hoskins, Chuck Hoskins, for those people that don't know. He goes by Chuck. And Chuck Hoskins didn't look like he really wanted to be there. He was like, hand on the face. He looked like he really didn't want to be there this morning, but he was there. And if anybody know about Chuck Hoskins, you'll know that early on in Chuck Hoskins' career on the bench, he was putting his friends on different hearing master seats and his friends on different referee seats. And he was trying to get his friends in the court, which that's a little biased. And then Chuck Hoskins had a little incident with the probationary court, and there was a big documentary on Chuck Hoskins about the probationary court. And then Chuck Hoskins has about 110 cases went before appeal, and 47.8% of those cases were overturned. So out of 110 cases, 47.8% of those cases were overturned. So that's a huge, huge error margin. Chuck Hoskins needs to work on that. Then we went to David Gibson Jr.'s courtroom. As you know, David Gibson Jr. is the presiding judge over a family court. I never had any problems with David Gibson Jr., but apparently when people come before his courtroom, you got to get attorneys out there, litigants, that's going to speak up and advocate for you. You know, when you go and hire an attorney, you can't have attorneys just be mute or just say a little bit of words, especially when you're fighting for your children. You need attorneys to be more of an advocate, and judges need to pay attention to these parents that are before them that are fighting for their kids, especially those parents that haven't seen those kids in a long time. Now, you can't be a parent if you don't have your children. You know, a parent, this is a parent's job, folks. Put their kids to bed, wake them up, brush their teeth, take them to school, find out how their day went. When you don't have that daily bonding with your child, you're not really being a parent. And when that's taken away from you, you kind of left helpless. So judges need to pay attention to the parents on the other side of the bench and put themselves in their shoes every once in a while and say, hey, you know, I'm a parent too. You know, would I want my children to be in my care all the time, 24/7? Or do I want some stranger to go take care of my kids? Which the answer would be no. So judges, pay attention to these litigants that are before you, because they want to be a parent just as badly as you do.
And have a sense of urgency.
Have some sense of urgency. And that was Stephanie Phillips on the other side of the camera. And you know what? These attorneys, when you hire attorneys, hire attorney that's professional, hire attorney that's going to show up in court with you, not be on a damn Zoom while you're in courtroom. Because it is more effective if the attorney is standing right next to you in the courtroom than being on a video. You attorneys out there, stop being so damn lazy. All right? If you're getting paid, you know what? You should get paid less if you're on Zoom than you are in person. Okay? If you show up in person, you should get whatever your hourly is. But if you show up on a Zoom call, you should make less. Just like a marriage and family therapist. If they have telehealth, they make less money. But if you show up in person and it's a one-on-one, they make more money. It shouldn't be no difference with you lazy attorneys that are out there that think that you could be on a Zoom call while your client is before the judge right there at the table. Lazy attorneys, stop being lazy. And another thing about these courtrooms, okay? And I hope David Gibson Jr. listens to this. These courtrooms, these monitors that are in there, one monitor is facing the judge. Well, what about everybody else? Okay? Well, what about the litigants that are before your court? They're not looking at this monitor. Okay? And the people that are sitting in the back in the pew, they can't see anything either because there's one monitor in the courtroom and it faces the judge. The litigants are not seeing that monitor, nor anybody else sitting in the courtroom is seeing that monitor. There needs to be a minimum of 3 monitors in the courtroom so everybody could see what the hell is going on these monitors. That's another thing we need to work on. So we need to work on lazy attorneys that don't show up before the court, that are on Zoom, okay? That are on Zoom, they should get less money than the ones that show up in person. And attorneys that don't advocate for their clients. And judges that don't respect the fact that parents are actually fighting for their children. And these monitors that we can't see who is on the damn monitor because it only faces the judge. There needs to be more monitors in the courtroom. Well, I hope that this helps you out, folks. We got a lot of work to do, okay? We got a lot of work before 2026. We got a lot of work right now. And these courtrooms need to be squared away, which they're not. This is Steve Sanson, President of Veterans in Politics, Nevada Veterans Association. Until next time.